How many times have you given something to someone and watched them walk away as if it meant nothing? You offered your time, your energy, your love, but in the end, they left, and what you gave them was lost, gone, and they will search, forever searching, but what you gave them can never be found again. You see, people spend their entire lives chasing things they'll never truly understand. They chase the superficial, the material, the empty promises of success, fame, and fulfillment. But there's one thing they'll never chase enough: the value of what they've taken from you. They don't see it when they have it, and by the time they realize it's gone, it's too late. They'll search for what you gave them, but they will never find it again. The world doesn't appreciate what you've lost, and neither do most people. They take, they ask, they demand, and when they get what they want, they forget about it. What you gave them? Lost, gone, and there's no way to get it back. This is the harsh truth. There are some things you cannot reclaim. Some moments, some feelings, some actions are irreversible. They are lost beyond reach. When you give, you do it with the best of intentions. You don't expect anything in return. At least that's what you tell yourself. But deep down, there's always a part of you that hopes. You hope they'll understand. You hope they'll appreciate it. You hope they'll realize how much of yourself you've poured into them. But when the time comes, when the moment passes, you're left with nothing. This is the problem with giving too much. You end up depleting yourself for people who won't value it. You offer your heart, your trust, your time, and they take it without hesitation, without gratitude. And once you've given it all, there's nothing left. Nothing for you. They don't notice. They don't care. And eventually, you realize you've wasted parts of yourself on someone who will never return the favor. Sacrifice. It sounds noble, doesn't it? We're taught to sacrifice for others, to give of ourselves in the name of love or friendship or duty. But there's a price to pay for giving too much, a hidden cost that no one talks about. You think you're doing something good, something selfless. But when you look back, you realize that the pieces you gave are gone forever, never to return. And the people you gave them to, they don't even notice that it's missing. The world will move on, leaving you behind, and the people who took from you will keep moving forward, sometimes with your pieces still in their hands. They'll never know what they've lost. They'll never fully appreciate the value of what you gave them, but you'll know. You'll feel it. And in the end, that's the only thing that matters. So, what happens when you've given all that you can? When you've poured everything into a person, a relationship, or a dream that didn't appreciate it? They will search. They will search for what you gave them, but they will never find it. They may look for it in other people, in other relationships, in fleeting distractions. They might try to fill the empty space with superficial things, but they'll never come close. You see, what you gave them wasn't just time or attention. It was a part of you, and no one else can give that to them. They'll wander forever, chasing the remnants of something that's already gone. But no matter how hard they search, it will always be out of reach. That is the dark truth of giving too much. It leaves you with a wound that never fully heals. It leaves a scar that will follow you forever. You'll try to move on, to fill the void, but that void is a part of you. It will always be there, and no matter how much time passes, you'll never forget what was lost. And that is the price you pay for giving too much to people who never deserved it. There comes a point when you realize that the things you gave away can never be reclaimed. It might hit you suddenly or build up over time. But when that moment comes, it's a cold realization. The pain of knowing that you sacrificed parts of yourself, your energy, your love, your trust, and it was all for nothing. You gave it freely, thinking it would matter, but it didn't. People don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. They don't realize the value of what you gave them until they no longer have access to it. And by then, it's too late. They'll search, they'll wonder, but they won't find it. They won't find what you gave them because it's lost. And when that moment hits you, when you realize it's too late to go back, it's a heavy burden to bear. So, you keep giving, and you keep hoping that maybe this time things will be different. Hoping that maybe this time they will appreciate you, your sacrifice, your time. But hope is a dangerous thing. It's a fleeting illusion, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of disappointment. Every time you give, you get your hopes up, and every time they disappoint you, you fall deeper into that cycle. You give, and they take. You hope, and they let you down. And in the end, you're left with nothing. This is the pattern that repeats itself over and over. You give, you hope, you fall, and you repeat. But the truth is, some people are not meant to be in your life. They are not meant to receive the pieces of yourself that you've given. And every time you give to someone who doesn't appreciate it, you're just deepening the hole they've already created. At some point, you have to stop. You have to stop giving to people who don't deserve it. You have to stop chasing the approval and appreciation of others. You can't keep pouring from an empty cup. You have to realize that there are things in your life that you can't get back. And that's okay. Letting go is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most freeing. Letting go of the people who never valued your sacrifices. Letting go of the relationships that drained you. Letting go of the hope that something would change. When you let go, you stop searching for something that isn't there. You stop looking for something that can't be found. You stop wasting your time, your energy, and your soul on people who won't appreciate what you gave them. After the loss, after the emptiness settles in, many are left wondering how to rebuild. The destruction of what once was, whether it was a relationship, a friendship, or even the loss of trust, leaves behind a gaping hole. It feels like everything you've invested, everything you've poured into that connection, has vanished into thin air. But the truth is, rebuilding isn't about going back to where you were. It's about growing from the pieces that remain, no matter how small they seem. You see, rebuilding after loss isn't about making things the same as they were before. It's about learning to live with the scars, the pain, and the lessons that have been etched into your heart. It's about gathering the broken pieces of yourself and forging something new. At first, it might seem impossible. It might feel like the wound will never heal, like the memory of what was lost will forever overshadow the future. But time, and more importantly, self-reflection, teaches you that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. The key to rebuilding after loss is acceptance. Accept that things may never be the same, but that doesn't mean they can't be better. Accept that you gave everything, and though they couldn't appreciate it, it wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of their inability to see it. You must forgive not just them, but yourself, too. Sometimes we beat ourselves up for giving too much, for trusting too freely. But it's part of the human experience. You gave because you cared. You loved because you had the capacity to. And that's beautiful. Now, it's time to rebuild. It begins with taking a hard look at yourself. Who are you? Beyond the relationship, beyond the loss. What parts of you have been neglected while you were busy pouring yourself into others? There's a strength within you that you may have forgotten, or perhaps never recognized. Rebuilding requires tapping into that strength, finding the courage to rise again and stand taller than before. You are not defined by the loss. You are defined by your ability to rise, to rebuild, and to move forward with more wisdom and strength. The road to rebuilding won't be easy, and there will be moments of doubt. There will be times when you miss what you had, when the memory of what you gave will haunt you. But in those moments, remind yourself that what you gave was never in vain. It was a part of your journey, and now that journey has led you to this moment of transformation. You are stronger now because of the loss, more resilient, more aware of your own worth. Every scar you carry is a reminder of the battle you fought and won. You have survived, and now you have the power to thrive. Rebuilding after loss isn't about forgetting. It's about honoring what was and embracing the opportunity to create something even more powerful moving forward. The journey of life is a series of ups and downs, and loss is often one of the hardest parts of that journey. It is easy to get caught up in the idea that what we've given to others, the time, the love, the energy, is somehow wasted when it is not reciprocated or appreciated. It's easy to believe that because they couldn't see the value in what we gave, it diminishes our worth. But the truth is, your worth is not defined by what others fail to understand or appreciate. Your value is intrinsic, deep within you, and no amount of rejection or loss can take that away. So, let them search. Let them wander through their own lives, constantly looking for something they'll never find. Let them try to fill the emptiness that comes from not recognizing the treasure they had. But for you, the search for validation, for recognition, for appreciation ends right here. You don't need anyone else to validate the strength, the love, and the wisdom that you carry within you. What you gave was real, but it was not for them. It was for you, for the experience, and for the growth it triggered in your own heart. You are not defined by the loss you've experienced. That moment, that relationship, that experience was only a part of your story, and you are the author of your own life. The chapters that lie ahead are yours to write, and you have the power to shape them however you choose. While the past may carry lessons, it doesn't dictate your future. You are not bound by the past. You are free to evolve, to reinvent yourself, and to create something new from the remnants of what once was. The most important thing to remember is this: you gave everything you could, and that's enough. You loved, you invested, You tried, and you poured yourself into it. It may not have worked out the way you hoped, but that doesn't diminish the purity of what you gave. That love, that energy, is still a part of you, and it will shape your future in ways you can't yet see. You will learn to love again, to trust again, but this time, you will be wiser, stronger, and more selective about where you place your energy. But the real gift here is not in the rebuilding of something external. It is the rebuilding of you. You are the one who gets to choose what's next. The strength to move forward, the courage to keep going, is in your hands. You are a survivor, not because of the things you've lost, but because of how you continue to rise above it. Every day is a chance to rebuild, to reinvent, and to come back even stronger than you were before. The search for what you gave them might never end for those who didn't understand its worth. They may go through life searching for something they will never find. But for you, the search for your own self-worth, your own happiness, and your own fulfillment is not an endless journey. It is a path that you've already started walking. The real value of what you've given, whether they see it or not, is that it has allowed you to become someone capable of creating a life of your own, full of purpose, full of meaning, and full of strength. As you move forward, remember this: the love you gave is not gone. It's embedded in who you are. The energy you invested is still a part of you. The time you spent isn't wasted. It was part of your evolution. What you gave them will never be found again, and that's not your problem to carry. The only thing that matters now is what you do with the knowledge, the wisdom, and the strength that you have gained from the experience. You are not defined by what others failed to appreciate. You are defined by your ability to rise after every fall, to rebuild after every loss, and to keep moving forward with resilience. What you gave was real. What you have now is even more real. And what's yet to come will be your greatest creation yet. So stand tall. Let them search for what they couldn't recognize. You don't need them to understand your worth, because in the end, you already know it. Your journey isn't over. It's just beginning. You've lost nothing, because what you've gained is far greater than anything that could ever be taken from you. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters are yet to come.